I'm reading proof. Radia looked at her watch. Suryati would have finished her shift and would be home by now. She took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Assalamualaikum, she called. It was one of Suryati's sons who opened the door. He was in primary 3, and he had barely scraped through his final year exams the year before. Ma, he shouted into the living room. The Ustaza is here. Suryati appeared, wiping her wet hands on the sides of her dress. Radia caught a whiff of soap as Suryati opened the padlock to her gate. There was a distinctive smell belonging to a kind of soap that was cut out from yellow rectangular blocks. Before washing machines came along, it was commonly used for laundry. As Suryati served her some rose syrup, Radia stole a glance at the kitchen. She saw the washing machine and wondered if it was broken. How are the boys? Radia asked, taking a sip from the glass. The rose syrup was too sweet for her, but she swallowed it calmly. Suryati turned to look at her sons who were eating rice with soya sauce and fried eggs in the kitchen. They're all right. The younger one stopped wetting his bed, she replied. That's good. How did you make it stop? Suryati smiled. I don't know, she said. One day, he just decided to stop. Maybe now he's old enough to feel sorry for his mother. Radia thought it was best to get straight to the point. You didn't visit your husband the whole of last month. He's been asking for you. I've been busy, said Suryati. You know that he needs you. He always looks forward to your visits. Suryati smiled again. Then what about me? Don't you think I need him too? Her self-pity was now twisting itself into anger. When are you going to release him? You keep him for 2 years and then you say he's not ready. And you keep him for another 2 and another. When does it end? Yati, Radia said, we just have to make sure he doesn't go back to doing what? Suryati interrupted. The first few times you came here, you asked me about what I thought about Palestine, about Israel, about USA, about Iraq. Do you ask him questions like that too? How can you ask him the same question for 6 years? I don't know what he asked him, Radia said. I'm not there then. Then can you tell me what the right answer is? Please tell me. I'll tell him what to say when I see him the next time. He can say the right things, but we must make sure that he believes what he's saying. Suryati stared at Radia. She lowered her voice as she spoke. How do we know what's in another person's heart? She asked. We are not God. Radia felt that their discussion had strayed far from its original purpose. You'll visit him this month, I hope. He really wants to see you and the boys. I can't, Suryati answered. I can't go on like this. I don't have any education like you. The best job all of you can find me is as a cleaner. Tell us how else we can help you, Radia said. The boys need a father, Suryati said. And if it's not him, it'll have to be somebody else. I'm going to ask for a divorce. Radia spent the next hour trying to convince Suryati to be patient. It's not possible for the government to hold him forever, she insisted. They only did that with the communists, and her husband wasn't one. It was going to be possible for him to find a job after his release, and then he'll be able to take care of his family once again. On her way home, Radia thought about the report she would have to write. The rehabilitation committee would not be pleased to hear that Suryati had decided to move on with her life. The promise of a reunion with his family was one of the things that had made her husband cooperative at the detention center. But what if Suryati had made up the whole part about the divorce? Maybe it was her way of exerting some pressure on them to release her husband. Should she mention in her report her suspicion that Suryati had not been entirely truthful? Radia realized that doubt was creeping into her heart. She recognized it as the same feeling that must have seized Suryati's son when he first